Hi, my name is Ajay Bhakshani, and I'm a director at East Daley Analytics. Today, I'll be going over our company analysis tools on the Energy Data Studio. So, uh, at the commodity level, we're tracking each individual asset, and that really allows us to build up companies' financials asset by asset. And we true this up to a subset of publicly listed companies that we have models and forecasts for. So let's look at energy transfer. If we go under company analysis, midstream company financials, and just click on energy transfer, uh, we'll start seeing this dashboard here. The first part is just a recap of our financial forecasts. So this is looking at our quarterly EBITDA estimates, as well as our annual EBITDA estimates through 2025, as well as how much we vary versus consensus. This is given by segment, and we also have some CapEx and cash flow and leverage metrics here. If we scroll a little bit down, we could see how our estimates versus consensus vary with ET and its tier list here. And we can also see a breakdown of the business versus some of Energy Transfer's peers. So we have a breakdown of their EBITDA by commodity, by asset type, as well as by geography. If we scroll a little bit further down, we can start getting a little bit more in the weeds as far as Energy Transfer goes. Again, we could see the full breakdown by commodity type, asset type, and market, how our model has changed over time. And here you can look at each individual asset that we model, as well as the growth over a certain period. So from 22 to 23, you can see at the individual asset level what our EBITDA estimates are for Energy Transfer. And this will all add up to the company levels here. If we scroll further down, we get to some of our other products. We have our earnings previews and earnings reviews. These are reports that we send out before and after earnings to essentially highlight our expectations for the quarter, as well as any takeaways from the company's earnings call. And in order to get the data behind a lot of what was in this dashboard, you can download our blueprint model, which is an Excel financial model that again builds up the entire company asset by asset. On the left here, there's also a link to any content that we published that relates to Energy Transfer, where ET is mentioned. Now, we can aggregate all of this data across the companies we cover and view them together in our company comparison report. So with this dashboard, it's a very similar view to what we saw on the company page. However, you could play around with it a little bit more. You can select different companies as you'd like. So if you're not interested in ET anymore, that's fine. You can just filter down for companies that you are interested in. If you only want to look at enterprise versus Energy Transfer, you can just select those two and see how they compare, how the businesses compare, what the different exposures to each commodity is, or what asset type each company has, what different markets those companies play in. And if you scroll down, again, what's really interesting here that you can't do on the company page is you could look at what these companies look like together or what a group of companies look like together. And so if a merger happens like with Magellan and OneOak, you can filter and just select these two, and you can get an idea of what the combined company looks like. And so what the combined company's new commodity exposure is, what type of assets they have, and how this acquisition might diversify the combined company geographically speaking, as well as look at all the asset level details. The last thing I want to go over is our consensus comparison report. So this is a very useful tool, again, that summarizes where our forecasts are versus consensus, and this is across our company. And so this is really useful to see where we have our highest conviction views, where we're more bullish or bearish versus consensus. And you can really use it to just figure out where the data might be interesting, and where right, let's start over from the consensus comparison report. So this is our do that again. So this is our consensus comparison report. This is taking all of our forecasts across our models and just sort of summarizing it in one view. And you can really see where we vary from consensus on EBITDA. And you can filter for greatest to least or least to greatest by year, so 23, 24, and 25, and see where we might differ from Wall Street. The last thing is our G&P system analysis. For the G&P system analysis, this is where we have a lot more granular data, especially behind volumes for individual systems. So if we look at Targa Lucid, for example, you can get a summary of what we're seeing as far as rig counts, who their top producers are, as well as the latest plant data and pipeline flow samples. So you can get an up-to-date view of how much volumes are actually going through that system as you're going through and updating your own models. You could also download a lot of this data if you just click on System Summary Data. You could filter to the company or the system or the basin you'd like, and just click here and then click Crosstab, and you could get this all on Excel. If you're interested in a free trial, don't hesitate to reach out to insight@eastdaily.com.